everybody!
Hi guys!
Today we are doing a video that I had the thought to do for a little while because, how should I even say this?
Because you're awkward.
Yeah, honestly that's kind of what this stems from. It is kind of like an inside joke in our friends that I do not understand flirting when it's happening to me.
You don't pick up on...
And I don't pick up on... And I also don't know how to flirt is the other part. In fairness, my previous partner I dated for almost 8 years, from when I was 13 to, 8 years later. And those are like formative dating years, I feel, in my defense.
Yeah.
So...
21 is the number you were looking for.
Yes, 21. So we have 3 stories for you. One of them Leslie was there for, so she's gonna help me tell it. But the first 2, she's actually never heard before.
I'm excited.
This was like about 3 years ago, and I was in Newfoundland visiting my sister. Because like I rarely see my sister because she lives so far away, we went to a bar, right? I was still like with my ex-boyfriend at this time.
Okay.
So we're at this bar and it's just me and my sister and it's like 9 p.m. So the bar, it's not like hopping
Things
at the
haven't
bar.
started yet.
No, yeah, it's like pretty quiet and my sister and I are just having like a quiet drink because we weren't going to be at the bar. We literally just wanted to go have a drink together.
Right.
And these 2 guys around between my age and my sister's age, because my sister's 12 years older than me, so they were like a couple years older than me, a couple years younger. They like slide up to us and they're like, exactly whatever you're picturing, that's what these guys are. They're Canadian bros. They like, one of them has a jersey on and they both have like...
They're out for a rip.
Yeah, they're out for a rip. They start like chatting us up, but they weren't being gross, so we just kind of humored them. Because like, if people are not being gross and they're just being nice and talking to you...
Yeah, you can have a conversation.
Yeah. I was just like talking to the guy, I'm like, oh, so, what's up in your life, or like something less weird.
That's the story right there. She turned to the guy and said, what's up in your life? And that's what I said.
But basically through the conversation, he told me that he was like kind of talking to this girl.
Okay.
And I was like,
this is such a tactic in flirting. Right?
Really?
Oh yeah. People will try and get information on your own dating
by bringing it up,
by asking you for advice.
Maybe that's what this was actually, because the guy was talking about this girl and he was saying not kind things about her. He was like, she's being this way, like I don't even remember the specifics, but they were things to the extent of that she's basically a very unintelligent person.
Okay.
And he met her online, like it was through like a dating app.
So at the same time, he's letting you know what he is and isn't attracted to.
Maybe, I didn't even pick up on that, but all I know is that I asked what her name was. And he told me, and I knew that name. And he shows me a picture, and I swear to God, the girl was from my hometown.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm in Newfoundland, St. John's, Newfoundland.
Like,
and I'm gonna
a
show
3-hour flight away.
I'm gonna put a map right here. Yeah. This is Newfoundland. This is my hometown area, okay? She was from my hometown, and she went to my high school.
And like, is she now living out there? Or
no, it was like online. It was like online dating.
Whoa.
And I was like, what? And like, okay, so here's the thing. I didn't tell him that I knew who she was.
Okay.
So I said to the guy, I was like, let's take a picture together. And he was like, okay. And he was so down. And my sister like does not understand what's happening here, but she's like, whatever. So I takes the picture with him. And then I send a message to the girl on Facebook. I don't have her on Facebook, but I can look her up. And I was like, so I'm at a bar talking to this guy who you know, and he's saying some really awful things about you. You should not talk to him anymore.
You called him out, good.
He didn't know, like I sent it later.
No, but like...
She was like, oh my God, I'm not gonna talk to him anymore. So it was like, so that was actually like a good flirting because through whatever was happening that he thought was happening between us, I like gleaned information from him. And then
you were like undercover.
I was. It was kind of undercover. So this story, the second story, is less cute. This story happened probably 6 months later. Okay? So I had just gone through my big breakup.
Okay.
And I was still living like in my hometown. and I was working at an art gallery, and one of my best friends also worked in the art gallery, Danielle. It was like an art opening that night, and she was working at the bar at the show, and I wasn't working that night, but I just went to the art show to like be supportive and stuff, and like hang out essentially, because like there wasn't a lot to do.
It was an event.
Yeah, it was an event.
At a place where you worked.
Exactly. So I just went. I was like fresh out of this breakup, like 1 or 2 months.
Okay.
Very much just in the like stage of
Recovering yourself.
Recovering yourself and being kind of like, this is the what this is.
Yeah. Acceptance.
Acceptance, yeah, exactly. I was talking to Danielle, and I was like, being single is very interesting, because I hadn't really been single up until that point.
In your adult life.
In my adult life. And I was like, single, ready to mingle.
Just the fact, I hope you said that out loud too.
I probably did.
Because, yeah, that would add to
But the thing is, Danielle was like, no, you don't. You don't know what you're doing. You can't flirt to save your life.
You need people like that in your life. But when you're told that you can't do something...
This is the thing, and this is how I know that you know me. When you tell me I can't do something, I'm like,
guess what I'm gonna do?
Guess what I'm gonna go do right now? So I was like, really? You don't think I can flirt? And she's like, no, I don't think you can flirt at all. I think that is something you're not capable of at all, in the least. And I was like, well, we'll see about that. I'm gonna go flirt with somebody right now. And she was like, good luck. So then, okay, so we're at the bar-ish area, and then there's this girl who walks right by us, and she has really interesting hair. She has like, it's a shaved side, and then like really long. And I was like, okay, Danielle, I'm gonna go flirt with that girl. And Danielle's like, good luck. And I was like, you'll see. I'm gonna make you see. Like,
maybe odds be ever.
I was like, okay, I'm gonna make you so wrong here. So I go up to her, and I was like, hey. And she was like, hello. And I was like, I love your hair. It's you know, it's really beautiful. I love it. And she was like,
good opener.
yeah. And she was like, oh, I really like your hair too. And we talked about hair for a couple of minutes or something. And then Danielle is kind of close by. It's also worth mentioning. Like, she can hear this conversation. I kind of look over at Danielle, and then I look back and I go, what do you think of the show? And the girl goes, I mean, it's pretty good. I was like, it's pretty good? She's like, yeah, it's pretty good. I was like, this is my show. I thought that she could tell that I was joking.
Oh.
Because I would never say
Which is
something.
another thing that you can't read in people.
Exactly. Because me saying this, it's like the art show was nothing, it did not look like anything it was like photography.
It was not your aesthetic.
Yeah, at all. So it's like, it's just good. This is my show. Like, I said it in a way that I thought
was outlandish.
Yeah, it was
to you.
so ridiculous that like, how could that possibly be true? And she was like, is it really? And I was like,
now you gotta follow through.
yeah, because like I thought it was really clear that I was joking, and then now I'm in this lie, and that I don't want to be in, because I don't even do that. In
So
these
the
types of
play there
situations.
would have been right away to go, no, I just think you're really hot. And I'm trying
Yeah, but like that would never occur to me. And now I'm in this lie that I really wasn't trying to tell a lie. I thought it was really obvious that I was joking. So I'm like, yeah, it is my show. Do you like it?
So not only is Anne terrible at flirting, she's also terrible at
I'm also really bad at lying.
terrible at lying.
Really bad at lying. So I'm like, yeah, yes, it's my show. Do you like? It's a good show.
It's just okay.
And she's like, yeah, it's good. I like it. And I look over at Danielle like, how did I?
And she's on the floor laughing.
Yeah, and I'm like, how did I sabotage this so quickly? And then the curator of the show is like, okay, quiet everyone. Thank you all so much for coming out. I would like can we have the artist come over and, you know, talk about their show a little bit, talk about the pieces. And I'm like, oh God. And then she goes and gives the speech. It was her show.
You couldn't write that.
It was her show.
That is sitcom level.
I couldn't believe it. Like,
you know what would have been slightly like
Danielle in this moment was just like dying.
I would have loved it if Danielle knew all along.
She might have, to be honest.
That's beautiful.
I left the gallery.
and never returned.
No, I mean I had to come back, but like I did not stay. Like I left. I was so embarrassed.
And then she ran away like Cinderella.
I didn't even run away. I just slipped into the night. Like I just evaporated. I threw a smoke shield down and puffed away. This is a story that Leslie's gonna help me tell because she was there for it.
It's one of my favorites. So last year, we were at a convention and we have our tables right next to each other.
Yeah, it was so lucky. We almost never have our tables next to each other.
Yeah, that doesn't happen often.
It was me, and then Jen was sitting in between us because she came with us, and then Leslie.
And then me at my table.
Yeah.
I don't know if, I think it was a Saturday. It was only a 2-day con.
Yeah, it was just a 2-day con.
Two guys came to my table and they commissioned me for a drawing of another friend of theirs. And in order to get his likeness, the one guy texted me the picture of the guy, his friend. So
while he's all talking to Leslie, though, okay, it's worth mentioning, our friend Jen is single and interested in men. So we both do this where anytime we see someone who's attractive, we go,
he'll be the wingman.
Yeah, we try to be wingman. So like anytime we see somebody who we're like, oh, Jen, look at that hot guy.
Yeah.
Look at that guy, Jen. Go talk to that guy. Yeah. So these guys are at Leslie's table, and I was like, oh, Jen, look at that hot guy.
And I mean, I'm also like in my head going, all right, this is a good.
Because the one guy, he was really cute, and he had like a nice beard.
Yeah.
And he was like,
groomed and
yes, he was totally Jen's type. And he was really good looking. Really good looking. They're talking to you.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Jen, look at that hot guy.
Yeah. So they go away, and I immediately turn.
The weirdest thing though was that almost everybody, this is just how cons work, they go from table to table.
Yes.
And like they went to Leslie's table and just completely.
And I was at the end of the aisle, so like they would have started with me and then moved on.
They completely skipped, like they booked it away.
They went like across.
Yeah.
So, I mean, in fairness, they could have had an event
fine, but I remember wanting them to come by so that because they can talk to Jen.
And I had immediately turned to both of them, and we were all like,
hot guy.
Yes,
Yeah.
And then throughout, we kind of, anytime we spotted him.
Yeah, because they were around all weekend.
We were constantly like
yeah, it was like Jen and I went to get food, and I was like, Jen, there's that hot guy.
Yeah.
Like, because we just kept seeing them, and he was like a really hot guy.
But they never came to your table.
They never came to my table.
They came back to mine to pick up the commission.
At the end of Saturday.
Did he say something about your pink table?
No,
he didn't say not even a comment.
Okay. He didn't speak a sentence at my direction.
But we basically enjoyed the view all weekend.
Yeah, because we just kept seeing them around. Like they were there.
I mean, it wasn't a huge con, but
no, it was a small con. But like we just kept seeing this hot guy, and I would always be like, Jen, look at that hot guy. You should go get his number.
So I mean, if you're gonna, make your move, the end of the con on a Sunday, like in the last half hour, is probably the time to do it because then you don't have to see that person for the rest of the weekend.
Yeah.
Hot tips.
Jen and I saw that hot guy on the Sunday there with different people, like a family, right? There was this guy and his kids, and hot guy was with them walking around on the Sunday.
And his kids were in costume. Super
and
cute.
like the one was dressed as a robot, and he had like these wiggle arms.
It was like the classic cartoon robot.
Yeah, with like the laundry
ventilation shaft, like wibbly wobbly arms. And
so they were across the aisle, just across from us, and the hot guy was with the kid, and I was like, Jen, it's the hot guy. And then the little robot kid waved at us, and I was like, oh, look at the baby. Because like this is how we react to kids in costumes. We're like, hi. And Jen and I are having like this interaction across the aisle. And then the kid like scampers off to go join his family. And then the hot guy comes directly over to the table.
Yeah.
And
so, and I noticed that they're talking, and I'm kind of looking forward to him kind of coming next to my table, but I was with somebody, so I couldn't overhear the conversation.
Yeah.
But after I finish, I look over, and that guy has gone. He's like, there was no like, bye, good to see you, nice to meet you, and nothing, he was gone. And I turned, and I looked, and Ange was like this. And Jen was like shaking laughing.
Yeah.
And I was like, what just happened?
Yeah.
And they were like, well, he came to the table and he was like, you see that kid over there.
That little cute
The
robot
little
kid.
cute robot kid. And Ange was like, yeah, I saw him earlier. Yeah,
waving
cute
at him.
costume, you know. And he's like, oh, well, he sent me over here because he asked me to come and get your number. And Ange, being Ange, was like, the little kid wants my number? Like, and he's like, yeah.
Not being cute also. I thought...
Like, she genuinely believed that this small boy in a robot costume wanted her phone number.
I was like, why?
And they're telling me this, and I'm like, oh my god.
He's
and
like,
Jenny's
yeah,
like,
he
I didn't
wants-
even get it, and
he
he's
wants your number. The
yeah,
little
he
kid.
asked, he sent me over here to get your number, and Ange is like, but he doesn't even have a phone.
I was like, he's a baby. What does he
just
need
a
my
little
number for?
kid.
And then
Smooth AF, honestly.
He says the best line I've ever heard.
He just switches. He just goes, well, then maybe you could just give it to me. Like, if he had a crew around him,
honestly,
they would have been like,
and like, because
without him, he didn't miss a beat. Like,
he didn't miss a beat, and like,
and then
at that exact moment, it hit me that he was asking for my number, and I just went, thank you, because I didn't. It honestly had not occurred to me what was happening, and I was just like, and he was like, what? Sorry? Like, what? And I'm like, okay. Now, I will say, I did not mean to shout at him at all. I was not trying to shout at him. I was so flustered. I was beet red. I was almost like in tears because I was so just...
It was so unexpected.
It was so unexpected, and I didn't... Normally when someone is like hitting on you, you really can pick up on it.
Unless you're you.
Well, hence this video. I would never yell
You
at
yelled at him.
we were like, also, that's a terrible response. I could have just been like, no thank you, please.
Or even, I'm actually in a relationship, but my friend here,
Yes.
who also thinks you're very attractive, is
But thank you, and it's, I'm
perfectly single.
complimented.
Yeah.
I'm flattered that you'd ask,
Yeah.
frankly. But that did not occur to me in those moments. I yelled at a man. So
That's my favorite.
that's what I do.
And he ran.
And he ran. He was
bolted.
like, okay, thanks, and he booked it.
Gone.
He was gone. That was it. And I honestly, like, I was so embarrassed. I was so embarrassed. I would never yell at somebody like that, but like...
I like the idea that is your reaction to things if you get too flustered.
Just yell at
Just yell. And then run away.
It's really shocking that anyone can love me. Actually, Leslie's really good at flirting. Like, I don't even...
Oh, thank you.
I see you flirt with people.
It's really nice of you to say.
You're welcome. Thanks for watching this not embarrassing video. Thank you guys so much. I'll see you next time.